gold line. I can feel it moving through the heart of my mind. All night behind me like a weight let go. Still I'm here at the edge of morning. Finally, let's go. Morning takes over. Night, finally, let's go. I can start over. First sun on my hands, first sun on my face. The night finally, let's go. And I'm not afraid. Flashlight on my rings, paper cup half cold, half gone. I was made of fatigue. Now the air feels sharp and clean. Crossing that sleeping bridge, watching windows wake one by one. Something soft in my chest says the hardest part is done. And the sky starts turning that pale gold line. I can feel it moving through the heart of my mind. All night behind me like a weight let go. Still I'm here at the edge of morning. Night, finally, let's go. Morning takes over. Night, finally, let's go. I can start over. First sun on my hands, first sun on my face. The night finally, let's go. And I'm not afraid. Let the dark slip down, let it fade behind. I was lost in the hours, now I'm back in time. One small breath of dawn on this tired road. I can't leave the night here, I can let it go. Night, finally, let's go. Morning takes over. Night, finally, let's go. I can start over. First sun on my hands, first sun on my face. The night finally, let's go. And I'm not afraid.
Phone face down and it shakes. Whole week stains on my sleeve. Last night thought left red marks. Now the feet won't let me breathe. Names spinning in the comments like coins across the floor. Somebody wants somebody folded. Somebody slammed the door. I saw the headline flash, then I let it pass. Truth moves slow through glass, but it still gets Monday Mayhem. Wake up, it's Monday Mayhem. Monday wake up, it's Monday Mayhem. Rumors come and go, I let them fade.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome. We're going to start the show in a second. Welcome to the Monday Mayhem Show, the first one. Let's get it.
Screens lit in my dark room with 100 borrowed takes. One post turns to a wildfire, one grin turns into fate. You can crown me, cut me, I keep my name in line. Win or lose, I walk through like I got more to find. I heard the noise get loud and it lost the shape. What they built from smoke, I can't watch it break. Monday Mayhem, wake up, it's Monday Mayhem. Monday Mayhem, wake up, it's Monday Mayhem. Rumors come and go, I let them fade. Let them trade the stories, let them spin that wheel. I've been through the pressure, I know what is real. Morning hits the glass and the whole room changes. Still I keep my calm through the Monday Mayhem. Monday Mayhem, wake up.
All right. We are in this thing. We are live. Welcome to the live stream. Let's start off. I see y'all been throwing some gifts. The notification is gone, but I remember Dubs from the back block. Thank you for the gifted. The high five, correct? Appreciate it. And ACOG Chop, thank you for the 5 gifted members. Appreciate it. Much appreciated, y'all. And appreciate everybody who's joining up in the chat. We're going to get into it. So we have some topics at hand. All going to be off the top, raw, live reactions, and, chilling with the good people as well. So we're going to get into it right off the bat. This first one is kind of like the headliner, I would say. This news dropped late Sunday night of a leaked phone call between Sauce Walka and one of his baby moms. His baby mom, I don't know how many he got, but she was doing the Jack 100 and recording the phone call. He didn't know it until that shit popped up all over the internet, and that's been kind of circulating all over social media in the last couple hours while everybody slept and whatnot. So yeah, we gonna quieter low mic. Okay, bet. Thank you. Let me fix that. Let's do sound check before we get into it. Good call. How we sounding? Mic check 1 2. Am I too loud, too quiet, or just right? How we sounding? Dream Face Forever says AI music is poop. Yeah, you ain't wrong, but hey, man, I can't produce a bunch of brand new songs. Shit, I can't produce a song worth shit. So I was able to do that before the show. How's the audio sounding now? Is it sounding better? It's looking better on my end, but I want to make sure it's good on y'all end. We got members in this thing. We got hella mods, but we don't got a mod in the chat right now. At least not typing, but that's all good. We got the mods. We the mod stream. Sounds good to you? All right, then it sounds good to me. Let's get it. So I'll rerun that down. Sauce Walka leaked call is what we're gonna get into first, and he thought he was having a phone call with his baby moms. He was crashing out on her for sure. Hold on, let me bring up the video we're gonna watch. At least get it ready. All right. So he thought he was having a private conversation, but he didn't know his baby mom was moving like Jack 100, and she was screen recording the call or something of that nature, and it's all over social media this morning because late last night the call leaked of Sauce Walka talking crazy, to his baby mom, who allegedly, slept with Drake. Drake does reside in Houston part-time. He got the one music video with all the weapons laid out by the pool. That's at the ranch in Houston. And he got it's like these trucks that are like these super doomsday trucks. He does have a doomsday truck, like on some GTA shit. That's also at the ranch in Houston. So let's get into what Sauce Walka has to say, but just keep in mind that Drake has a doomsday truck, which those are bulletproof, okay? So this video is brought to us by Suede the Plug, all right? Suede the Plug is a YouTuber I have never heard of until this morning. I think they're a newer channel, but he put together a quick little 4-minute video that we're going to react to that has the full leak put together with a little bit of input from Adam 22 from when he would remember Adam had beef with Sauce Walka as well. So it's kind of a full circle thing. All right. So let me get this off the screen and we'll get into that right now.
Get you jumped again. I don't give a. Just like I get Drake smoked, I will get Drake car shot at.
My fault. I done started right in the middle. We didn't start at the best part. He said he gonna get Drake car shot at, as y'all heard. But here, let's start from the top.
What's the deal? It's Suede the Plug, and you are now tuned in to the episode 3 of the Plug Report. And let's get to it. Man, I just got the audio of the boy Sauce Walka. You know what? Let's just listen to the audio.
They don't say nothing about me with my baby mama or nothing, or I'ma handle y'all. It's that simple. I don't give a what the consequences is.
Why? Yeah, you handle me. You already handle me. So what the matter? You already put your hands on me. You already do all that already. So what the even matter?
I got you jumped by my hoes. I will put my hands on you though, but I didn't. You got jumped by my black hoes. This shit on video.
Yeah, because you had me set up. Are you proud of that? Does that make you feel good?
I will get you jumped again. I don't give a. Just like I get Drake smoked, I will get Drake car shot at. Man, you better realize who the hell. I don't give a. Nobody talking about.
Okay, you need to calm down.
No, I don't need to do nothing.
Yeah, you do.
So after
So that's the call, right? And he's talking real crazy, talking from an emotional point of view, right? Because it's alleged that Drake slept with the woman that he's on the phone with. All right. And so he's kind of admitting to he said, I ain't put my hands on you yet, but I'm going to. And then he also sick some fighting bitches on her. Said that he gonna have some. So like first, it's kind of like a gray area where it's okay, you have a problem with a female, you get a female to run the fade with her. It's not really, that's not too crazy, unless she really on some Karen shit, right? But then you have him saying right after that he's gonna touch her up, and so of course people are gonna have a problem with that, as we should, right? But Sauce is like he had the whole back and forth with Sharp, right? About he's a digital pivot type of person, where he's a modern day P basically, and Sharp is old school P. No digital work, no digital Blade Runners in Sharp's camp allegedly. Whereas Sauce, he's an advocate for you might as well get this online money. He's kind of the same as the Adam 22 in a lot of ways, where he's piping chicks on camera, right? But he's also apparently gorilla pimping as well. So we have that. But the main thing that everyone's honed in on is, so because of this, because he's now a scorned baby daddy essentially, Sauce is ready to send an airstrike at Drake's car allegedly. That's what he's saying in the angry phone call. I'll get Drake's car shot at, I believe is the exact quote. And so once you're jumping out the window saying things like that, that's of course when it's gonna go viral for all the wrong reasons if you're Sauce. But then also, let's see, someone said in the chat that Drake has an Insurgent. That's the GTA version, right? But there's definitely I have to find the IG. I'm not gonna do it right now, but there's this company that makes these like doomsday modified versions of cars. I think Drake's is like a modified Ford Raptor, and he had it in a music video too. It's a pickup truck, and it's like super duper bulletproof, just as bulletproof as like a Secret Service black truck or something, right? On top of this, it's a damn Raptor, so you can go all types of off-roading and up mountains and all types of shit. It's literally made for the end of the world, to where you can ride around in that. As long as you can figure out sourcing gas or converting it to electric, you're straight. It's better than a Cybertruck in a lot of ways. So Sauce, he's talking from an irrational standpoint. It's not like he really was plotting on Drake and really like did some research and started like, I'm gonna really line him up. Because if he was really gonna line up, you're gonna have to catch him outside of that car, which is like his Texas car, is this big ass modified Raptor that's basically a tank, right? So you can shoot your street weapons at this nigga's military grade Ford Raptor all you want, but it ain't no airing out. It's not gonna happen. So in the next part of this video with this dude who looked like Slim Jimmy, up and coming YouTuber and shit, go check out his channel. He did play Adam 22 talking about Sauce Walka, because remember like a month or so ago, maybe more, Adam and Sauce had beef together, and well, with each other, not together, right? And in that beef, there was some harsh words explained, and Adam kind of just painted Sauce as a J-Cat and just kept moving. I know he also did try to say Sauce is broke and this and that. Now, calling Sauce broke is a stretch, because he does have the Sauce Factory, which is like this small strip mall on the side of a highway in Houston. And it's pretty cool. He got a recording studio there, a dispensary, tire shops, and all types of shit. He invests his money decent, pretty decent, especially compared to his peers. So you can't hate on that too much. But Adam called him broke, and Sauce had whatever words he had for him. And since then, we really haven't heard much from that back and forth. But I do remember watching, like most of us watch, probably late night, AB and Dean the Great, right? They had Sauce on stream like literally last week. Maybe it was even Monday of last week. I don't remember exactly, but he made like a theme song for them. The song's ass, by the way, but they got their little Kick theme song called Kick and Flavor. And Sauce Walka is transitioning into becoming a Kick streamer from Twitch and whatnot, because the check that Kick is paying is better. So is Sauce broke? Probably not. I'm assuming his Twitch was doing decent. His Kick will probably definitely do better, since you could basically do R-rated content on there. And yeah, but anyways, here, let's get into this next clip of what's Suede the Plug's video covering this situation. Because I did think it was cool that, even though he's a smaller subscriber count, I did think it was cool that he tied in the Adam 22 commentary at the end. So here, let's get into that real quick.
Honestly, even when me and Drake were having our little FaceTime powwow about him last night, like Drake, it was like, yeah, I respect him. He's a hustler. He made something out of himself out of Texas, but he just got to stop popping that shit like he's something that he ain't. And I'm like, yes, exactly. It's like, it's weird that me and Drake feel like we kind of got the same exact treatment from him.
You think?
I mean, he's not some fucking business genius that he wants to paint himself as. And if he was, why would you be on Twitch for 9 hours a day?
Yeah. I don't know, man.
All right, so music, we don't want that right now. So that's an interesting angle at it at the Sauce Walka business model, right? Like I said, he has a strip mall, or a small strip mall where he kind of bought all the businesses in a row, and he I don't know, like I want to, I guess to the average man, Sauce Walker doesn't appear to be broke. Maybe to someone who has a $5 million warehouse in one of the most expensive neighborhoods in Southern California, such as Adam 22, maybe that doesn't impress him because it's Texas real estate versus California or whatever. But to most people, if you have your own dispensary, tire shop, this and that, all lined up together, that's pretty impressive regardless of which state you did that in, right? Uh, Sorry, I gotta drink some water, y'all. But yeah, so Adam and his beef is his beef. It's not really gonna be an unbiased take in that situation, right? But yeah, at the end of the day, Sauce Walker, he been beefing with Drake though, is what that little snippet shows, which is I think is why the plug report put that in there, because it's like, okay, this went down recently, or we don't know when the phone call actually happened. It leaked, within the last 24 hours. But Drake and Sauce Ben have had differences kind of behind the scenes that Adam actually first brought to the forefront with his little text message relationship that he advertises that he has with Drake, right? And it's just interesting timing though. Right when everything is, it's not the 20 verse one that Drake dealt with the first time. But right when everybody's kind of reigniting beef with Drake, Jay-Z and his Afro freestyle at the Roots Fest, I guess he was trying to look like Questlove or something, right? But as this Jay-Z and Drake beef is heating up, you get the side character of Sauce Walker saying he gonna air Drake shit out behind his baby mom. Are the two truly related? I don't think so, but it is kind of interesting timing for sure. But we're gonna get on to the next topic. I'm gonna read chat first though. Run them likes up, facts. Shout out to ACOG Chop. Why is dude cheesing? I don't know, Billy Mack. He came in cheesing, it's all good though. He did good work. Sauce tender dick, yup. For sure that. And when you're kicking all that P talk, it does look kind of crazy, but at the same time, I can't tell nobody how to react to their baby mama getting cracked allegedly. He done caught wind that his baby mom was getting cracked whenever Drake's in Houston or something like that. And that's kind of tough. That's kind of tough. Hold on. What you say? Watching Doughboy get cooked right now. Uh-huh. No clips on Just Clips. Well, man, it's different with a live stream, brother. I would have started it even later if I would have got some B-roll ready to be playing while I'm talking. That is coming down the pipeline, though. I just didn't have time to do it for this live stream. But eventually, instead of this screen that's on right now, you would get the clips. But when I re-upload these, the clips will be there. So, not on the full live stream, but on the individual videos. You feel me? Drake stole Sauce's swag. You know what? I did remember hearing rumors of that. I do remember that. Drake stealing some flows. He does steal pretty much everyone's swag, but I'm not surprised by that at all. But yeah, Doughboy getting cooked. I am excited to watch that after my stream is done. Not gonna watch it on the live because it is a members only live stream that they're doing right now of Doughboy, supposedly his last episode, and we'll see about that. What's interesting on a slight Doughboy side note before we get into this next topic, I seen Craig Smith, Doughboy's homie, who he called for backup. He was in the comment section. He basically said that what I was saying in the video was facts and he can't hate on it. So respect to Craig for that. And Allen, I seen, Allen's a savage. He don't give a damn. He gonna say his opinion, even sometimes if he disagree with me, and I respect that. And I seen you kind of triggered him in a Sunday morning comment where you say he's not funny at all and whatnot. I personally don't agree, but that's the thing about comedy. Everyone has a different experience with different comedians and whatnot. It's very rare that any one comedian is universally funny, right? Except for the all-time greats. But I actually think that Craig is one of the funniest people, if not the funniest person from the entire Roast Me series. I actually enjoy his brand of comedy. That's why I was so disappointed when I watched his podcast and I didn't laugh not once. But he had a lot going on in that live stream and whatnot, and I get it. I started this stream, so just a little backstory on how my morning's been so far. How has y'all morning and afternoon for the East Coasters been? We're about to transition to afternoon on the West Coast too. But yeah, man, I had a good productive morning, but I woke up at 5 a.m. I wanted to start this live stream at 6 a.m., right? So, get ready, brush the teeth and all that, make some coffee, eat a quick breakfast was the goal. And then ideally I'd be able to just hop on and fire up the live stream. And going forward, I kind of want to start these lives at like 6, 7, no pun intended, 6, 7 a.m., somewhere around there. But at the same time, I'm open to starting the Monday live stream at various times until I see which one is best for you guys being the audience, So we'll see. We'll play around with it as we go forward as far as start times. And then I seen, you guys want clips. Some of you guys want the clips playing in the shit. I'm going to have to load in B-roll into OBS, but I will be able to better prepare going forward to have the B-roll ready to play when I'm doing my little spill. All right? If I remember to turn it on and off, of course. That's always a whole nother challenge. But I got y'all. The alter ego got to stay copacetic. What y'all talking about? Hold on. What up? Respectfully, I ain't reading that. I like that username. When Drake sing Houston, somebody BM getting cracked. That's probably a fact. I mean, shit. It's hip hop Mike Jack. Hip hop Mike Jack for real. Which leads us into this topic, which is, as you see on the screen, we got DJ Academics live from his studio with the frozen Instagram image or music video or whatever up on the screen. And this one is the start. So this is when he decided to hop on live and tell everybody that Charlemagne called him to warn him about some entities. So Academics is being very careful about putting, a name to the entities that some of you may have heard by now. But if not, basically, over the last few days, Academics came out and let everybody know that his main chat nigga, I guess, Grand Wizard was being pretty much stalked in real life and getting PI type of photographs taken of him while he's taking out the trash and shit like that. And Grand Wizard runs the problematic, I forget the name, but Academics has his main Twitter account, and then he has the one that's just ran by, his team, employees, his friends, whatever. They all kind of fall into the same category for real, right? But he has this other page that is a little bit problematic on Twitter, and a little bit's an understatement, right? And that page often says has wild captions that offends people. He's had the text Grand. He's like, I'm gonna text Grand to take it down. That's a reoccurring thing in the world of DJ Academics, of that page being problematic. So this mysterious op of his, which really isn't that mysterious at all, if we've been even slightly paying attention to Academics in the last 365 days, we know that him as well as Aiden Ross have literally had to appear in court against Rock Nation for it was like 2 or 3 different instances, one of which being their support of Tory Lanez. Rock Nation was alleging that their support was paid for by Tory Lanez or some outside source, and that they're doing targeted media attacks at their client Megan Thee Stallion, and so they were brought into court in that whole case, right? But then now there's this new element to the Rock Nation versus, various content creators kind of developing beef, right? Which is Charlemagne called academics to let him know to like basically watch your back. So let's see what Ak had to say about all this.
Chat. You know they say heavy is the head that wears the crown. They've put out the hip hop media list 4 times now. I'm batting a pretty good rate. Twice at number 1. What's the problem? Well, I'll tell you what the problem is.
Yes, Jay-Z's label is Rock Nation.
The severe belt to ass, and now since most of those guys who used to feel like they had a chance at competing, they're all unemployed. They're also just kind of outside the fray. Like, they're just... I know y'all been like, Ak, why you haven't been streaming? Because I'm watching like these guys like trying to get some motion. It's really weak. And I've realized that these guys have gotten to the lowest I've ever seen. And almost to the point where I think people forgot who Academics is. And I'm going to start this all off by saying this, okay? I see and I hear what a bunch of y'all media niggas in hip-hop is doing, which is built purely out of jealousy for me and the platform and because we run this shit. And I want to let everybody know, the gloves is off. You know I love this part. We could all go to war. I'll tell you what that entails. I like to get personal. And for anybody who's going to be like, Ak, you're going to be doing too much, because you know how I get super personal. Oh, I'll find out the baby mamas. I'll find out the missing kids.
So by I can get personal. Now this this is 3 days old at the time of me recording, right? And by what he means by he can get personal, fast forward to present day, he already got personal. All right. If you go to that problematic page, I think it's called The Academy on Twitter/X. If you guys pull up that page whenever you want and scroll a little bit or whatever, ever since this stream, that page has been dropping the old receipts of when, the various attempts to cancel Charlemagne that have happened over the last, 10 years or so. They've been posting receipts again, bringing it back to the forefront. They're trying to get Netflix to drop The Breakfast Club technically before shit even got started, because today's June 1st, right? And, today is the first day that The Breakfast Club went live on Netflix. So right before all this, there's basically a coordinated attack by the Academy to drop all the receipts on the main reason that people watch The Breakfast Club, being Charlemagne the God, right? So this is how I look at this beef. Now, Academics, he did this whole pulling up the wire and all this shit, digging deep into Jay-Z's references yesterday on his stream, right? A Sunday morning stream. But I don't care about none of that. We're not going to get too deep into that, because the way I look at this beef that's between Drake and Jay-Z mainly, right? They have their media representation. They're like not on payroll, but just cultural currency payroll type of glazers. Academics being probably the biggest Drake glazer in the entire world, right? You have that in, so you got Drake and Academics versus Jay-Z and Charlemagne. Charlemagne, he's obviously an older guy than Academics, right? He actually kind of was the first big name to shout out Academics several times. He's kind of put Academics into certain situations in a good way in the past, where it was kind of like a big homie, little homie type of relationship. But now, I guess people really take the Complex media list seriously. I didn't know it was that serious. I don't know. I haven't read Complex magazine in years, but people really take that list serious. And Academics is now at the top spot on that list, which I think that's somewhat biased. Academics is great. Don't get me wrong. He probably is the number one media personality if that's the criteria you're going by, right? But to just kind of I don't know, because he used to work for Complex as well though on Everyday Struggle, so it's in their best interest to be like, see, we had an earlier version of Academics on our shit and now he's number one. I'm not saying that he's not number one. I'm just saying on behalf of the people that look at it with a side eye, I get why it's looked at with a side eye a little bit. But then on the flip side, you have Charlemagne, who has been descending. He has. In media, there's no reason for age to make you descend unless you have some type of condition or something that affects your voice box, which is pretty rare, right? Most of these radio guys, especially, Charlemagne's one of the last relevant of the old form of media, of legacy media, they call it. And then you have that pack that is Academics, DJ Vlad. They kind of put Trap Lord Ross in there, even though he's more of a Netflix style creator to me that just does it on YouTube on his own instead. And then Adam 22, so on and so forth. Those are like the new media kings is what they called themselves after the Brick Baby shit, right? After the Brick Baby Big Eureka. That episode where Ack and Trap Lord were grilling Whack 100. But anyways, you have these media representatives. What the fuck? Representatives. My fault. Shout out to Young Aunt Hefe. You have these guys beefing with each other on behalf of these artists because Jay-Z is basically Charlemagne's Drake. And I'm from a certain era where I still remember going to a CD store and getting my first Jay-Z album physically in hand. I forget which album it was. It might have been the Black Album, honestly. But it's not the first one I heard, but that's just the first one I bought physically. And you have this era where I seen when Jay-Z was the undisputed GOAT. People brought up the Nas shit and this and that, but at the end of the day, Jay-Z was the GOAT. Kendrick is basically the Nas of this generation. He can technically still write the story to where he becomes better than Drake or whatever, but at this point in time, Kendrick is Drake's Nas, and Drake is our generation's Jay-Z. It's just the way I look at this is like, what if we got to see, in basketball terms, what if we got to see Kobe get 7 or 8 rings? Then what would the conversation be like? That conversation for the music equivalent of that is taking place in real time over this past weekend. But you got these biased media sources where, Charlemagne been glazing Jay-Z for 20 years, right? And when he was on the Breakfast Club, it's always, they roll out the red carpet and all that stuff. Obviously, Academics and Drake have their relationship that they have. So that's what this beef really is to me, is they're representing their respective parties. And me using parties is ironic too, because somehow politics is finding its way into all this as well. But we'll get to that. That's in a following clip.
I'll find out everything. It's okay. And I'm putting this out for every media personality. Not because they put me number one. I'm not the same slimy, sick nigga that really got at everybody else. But I'm saying that because I don't know if maybe I'm supposed to take the high road now, but I'm never the high road type of guy. I'm always the where does it go? Where they go low, you can take him to help. So I'm gonna just warn y'all now. Prepare for all fuckery. And I want to also make it clear, there's no bystanders. So there ain't no you. Listen, we ain't doing no DJ Khaled shit. But I want to explain where that energy is coming from. Chat. I've been just sitting here doing my thing. Iceman's number one, biggest media personality, biggest rappers. I've been watching the jokes. I love the jokes too. They'd be like, "Oh, Drake, I like it. It's cool." Y'all did the same thing with me in 6ix9ine. It's fine. Cool. But I'm starting to realize the lies that's brewing up. I realize that there's a stalking effort. Like this week, I've found out that supposedly out of this theory, that is no way that I am this popular as a media personality, that Drake is as popular as a rapper and sells as much. And also because allegedly people like even Nicki Minaj and some folks like that go against some of these people. And you could kind of guess who I'm talking about. There's been heavy investigations going on. I've told you guys about these stuff a long time ago. I was confused. In the last few days, I have gotten, and it can't be towards me, but it is in a roundabout way trying to threaten the people around me. There's people outside supposed Grand Wizard's house taking random pictures of him. Oh, we got the pictures now. They've been circulating these pictures. There's people harassing, some of the people who do memes and stuff like that, and who clip for us, going to their houses, harassing their girlfriends, mamas. And at first I was like, all right, I'm the public guy. Like, I want all the smoke. You come over here, you gonna meet 4 killer Rottweilers and 50 guns. But people, they don't mess with me. So I was like, what's going on here? But everybody around me started getting targeted. It's kind of interesting. I got told recently that there's a ongoing dossier that was paid for and financed. Paid for and financed. That all of the stalking, the this, that, and third, and a lot of frivolous lawsuits said, Milagro, maybe you were part of it too, or maybe you're also on the list of, and I want to keep this again. By the way, Barbs to Nikki, make sure your queen is safe. I hear they are stalking and they took pictures of all of the people outside of their premises. Yes, I looked at pictures of what they claim is Grand Wizard outside of his house. It's paparazzi shit. It's crazy.
All right, so it's not really paparazzi shit, as he says. It's more private investigator shit. Any person with enough money for a private investigator can essentially sick a PI on any target that you want for whatever reason that you can give them that they'll agree with morally. You can have a PI investigate your spouse or whatever, all types of shit. The teacher of your child at school. What are they doing outside of school? With the budget, PIs will damn near investigate anything you ask them to do, basically. So of course, Rock Nation. It's being alleged, and he's being very careful because he's already had some legal things with them. But my guess is that Rock Nation, they're ready to play ball. They're ready to get cracking and play ball. And with how big of an organization they are, with the CEO collabing with the freaking NFL, being the head of nigga culture with the NFL, essentially, they're gonna play ball in a lot of different ways. They could play ball in the streets, but why would you risk everything playing ball in the streets? Especially with someone like, DJ Academics and, his network of chat niggas, his people that he's kind of brought along with him. He's given, I just seen in his chat, it says Grand Wizard K100. So some people in Axe chat don't like Grand Wizard. And yes, that's a crazy name. And then some people, love him because he's one of their most OG members and whatnot. He's like Big AJ, but the tech guy doing all the tweets and shit. He's an OG clipper. There's a lot of things. Axe volume up. Really, is it quiet? All right, I'll try to fix it in a second when it gets back to playing. Is my mic volume actually low? My volume, wait, turn your volume up. His mic is fine. Ack is kind of low though. So turn Ack's volume up, but my mic is fine. All right, I'll have to do it while it's playing, but I'll kind of get it right without it as well. But anyways, so So yeah, I think there's private investigations going on for whatever reason. At the point in time that this video was made, uh, you know, there was no motive behind it. But then you have, we're not gonna do that one, the chick smooth one. That's redundant. Um, okay, so look, so I'm sorry, y'all. The mic shit threw me off. But the reason why there's PIs being involved and whatnot, I'm not sure exactly. Maybe they're building a lawsuit against academics or something. You know, that's all speculation. But what we do know is that Jay-Z, he doesn't like some of the things that were said on Drake's album, I would assume. But on top of that, on top of some sneak disses and what, you know, things of that nature, there's this aspect where Drake has officially passed Michael Jackson's record for number one singles or number one songs, not singles, with the Janice "Shut the Fuck Up" song and whatnot. So with Drake passing Michael Jackson, that creates a new level of jealousy, you know, and with that level of jealousy, I feel like Jay-Z, he hopped on that stage with that freestyle that he did, and he, you know, he did sound legitimately angry, like, and he's being painted out as kind of like this angry old man that decided to hop off the couch, and you know, I think it's purely because you got passed up by the person that was like Lil Bro at one point. Drake on fuck, what was it? It was very early tape. It might have been a mixtape, not even an album. Is it Light Up? Where Jay-Z says something like, Drake, let me tell you how they're gonna come at you. Silly something described as a rap feud, blah blah blah. I always viewed Jay-Z's early little warning line on how Drake's career beefs will play out as him kind of warning about, you know, Drake's peers. But since Drake has seemingly defeated all of his peers except for Kendrick, um, now it's interesting that Jay-Z is like, in Jay-Z's mind, I guess, is the only peer left for Drake to out rap, to defeat, whatever. You could argue that Pusha T defeated Drake as well, but as things carried out over the years, Pusha T got exposed for having a ghostwriter recently and stuff like that. So it doesn't quite hit the same, since that was, other than the Hidden Sun, uh, the ghostwriting thing was the main expose in the Pusha T beef, right? So all that's left in Jay-Z's mind is for Jay-Z to now pick up the pen and try to knock off the new top guy, the guy who honestly is looked at as like he's kind of passed Jay-Z up, because Drake can technically rap like Jay-Z and have all the riddles and people realizing lyrics, you know, months later and all that stuff. He can do all that and also, you know, sing a catchy hook, make a hit song with an EDM beat. He has more variety to him, more versatility, right? While still having a similar pen game. And we haven't really heard Jay-Z attack the ghostwriting element of things, so he must not care much about that. But yeah, I think this right here, we're gonna get into a quick clip from this show Point of View, um, where it's kind of like, this one's funny. It's like a Wendy Williams type of show. You know what I'm saying? And they're gonna get into the whole Michael Jackson record being beat, and in a lot of ways, Iceman has kind of brought Drake back from the embarrassment that was the Kendrick Lamar beef. Kendrick's songs getting scrubbed like a day or two before the release of the three albums was kind of crazy too. I haven't really talked about that at all, but I did notice that, like, they literally removed all that shit from DSPs and the YouTube videos, but then they re-uploaded it all again. So I don't know exactly what that was about, but maybe there was actually some botting that was found. I don't know. I seen the cultural impact of Not Like Us though. I was there some bot play involved still? Maybe, but I definitely seen literal school children singing word for word, bar for bar, and dancing to Not Like Us and calling Drake a certified PDF and all that. So, what, 2-3 years later now, Drake has finally fought back, and his fighting back, I think he has some very good songs on Iceman. To be honest with you guys, my favorite songs I've just been kind of stuck on, and I haven't even listened to the other two albums yet. So I've just been stuck on my favorite songs from Iceman. I just go back to those. I haven't listened to it as a whole cohesive body of work yet, just for whatever reason. But I see it's 50-50. Some people love the album, some people hate the album. But the argument that's being made now is streaming numbers are easier to get than the traditional way because of this whole point system. So all the old heads mainly are saying he's still not better than Michael Jackson, even if his numbers say he's better than Michael Jackson. So it's an interesting debate because music is like sports, but it's not sports at the same time. There's a scoreboard with this, the charts and Billboard and all that, but there's also still not really a scoreboard, is what not everyone, what half of the people are arguing. Obviously, I think Academics actually had a take where he was saying, like, let's pump our brakes a little bit on saying he's just flat out better than Mike. But I know Charlemagne, he said something. I was watching his podcast last night, and when he was talking about the Drake passing Mike thing, he said that numbers do lie. That was kind of the quote that he came up with to summarize the situation. I was like, okay, buddy, numbers don't lie, but how they're calculated today versus back then, that's a valid point. But anyways, let's check out this Wendy Williams type show real quick as they hit us with a quick little update on the Drake Mike Jack shit.
So the Barbs protect.
That's still Ack.
Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to another episode of Point of View. The numbers are in, and Drake has officially surpassed Michael Jackson for the most #1 hits by a solo male artist. But even with the broken record, the real question is, can Drake ever truly reach the global impact and legacy of Michael Jackson? We're talking entertainment, culture, and the conversations that matter. You're watching Point of View. So yes, the numbers are in, and it's true. Drake has officially surpassed Michael Jackson for the most
content volume better
a
now?
solo male artist, breaking a Billboard record that stood untouched for 31 years since Michael Jackson's 1995 hit, You Are Not Alone. Now, the debate online is whether streaming era success can really compare to the global impact of the Michael Jackson era. Riri.
If it is 2026 and Michael Jackson is still getting compared when he's already has left this earth, that tells you no. First of all, when he was here, it wasn't even on social media. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to downplay Drake so much, but it wasn't even social media, and he was still the biggest. So just imagine if he was here, or if social media was there back then.
Yeah.
So I don't agree.
Yeah.
Just off of that first take alone, it reminds me of the basketball takes that you hear, right? Where I can't think of a player off the top of my head, but where it's like, oh, imagine if so-and-so played with today's rules and things like that. Was it not John Stockton? It was some old white boy point guard who they said was like Stephen Curry before Stephen Curry. I can't think of bro's name right now, but that's one of the main examples that always comes up. And that is valid. That is a valid way to look at it. It's like, okay, if Drake is selling these or moving these billions of units, imagine if Mike had this same system, this unit of measurement for his releases. And, for it to take this long for Mike's record to even get touched, that does say a lot. And for it to be a different unit of measurement says a lot as well.
I mean, the numbers may say, but I still feel
So
like
they say a lot of it is streaming. Like Drake, this is the streaming era. as opposed to actually maybe, selling the records, being out there, making a global impact. It's a bit different than it was 1996.
Correct. So imagine if we had streaming and social media when Michael
Woo!
Jackson was here.
Just
It's out of this
imagine
world.
Michael Jackson be like,
Exactly.
Right. Yeah, for sure. I'm in agreement. I do think that, Drake deserves his flowers for this, as well for this accomplishment and these accolades that he's receiving. But I just don't feel like it's truly comparable.
Yeah.
Even if you think about back in the day, we see so many times where they say, hey, such and such had $10 million back in the day, which would be the equivalent to $10 billion now. So I feel like when you're measuring something like kind of on the direct, hey, dollar for dollar, hit for hit, stream for stream type situation, it's not comparable because what a stream or something like that, even though we didn't have streams, but what, engagement was then to how easy it is to get it now, I just don't feel like it's fair to compare that.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with that, but I also want to be fair as well to say congratulations to Drake.
100%.
That is a very, very big thing to accomplish.
Yeah, on the basketball tip, it might have been Chris Mullen, Allen. I don't recall, or Andy. It could have been Pete. I'm gonna have to look it up at a different time. I thought it was she looks like SZA mixed with like Young Miami or some shit, but yeah, man, I agree with the naysayers in a way, but I don't want to discredit the accolade that was accomplished either. Because I mean, if it was so easy to break that record in the streaming era versus, physical units era that Michael Jackson was a part of and really a pioneer with music videos and shit, if it was so easy, then why didn't any of the people, before Drake do it, or any of his peers really? Because this is a pretty brand new era in music still when it comes to, quantifying things through streaming numbers. So, at the end of the day, Drake has had an amazing run, is what it shows you. And he did kind of come in at the tail end of physical units being the king, and he literally ushered in Apple Music when that's an element of the beef as well, though. So remember, our main point here is Drake versus Jay-Z, right? And an element of the beef that people are speculating is that Jay-Z stopped liking Drake when Drake originally was all on board for being like on Tidal and all that shit, and then he left Tidal because Apple Music basically outbid. They offered enough to where Tidal wasn't about to be able to afford that in year one of being, in their existence. And Drake, if you guys don't remember, he was like the face of Apple Music for a second. Literally the face of Apple Music. So probably still is. I don't use Apple Music at this moment. I just use YouTube Music, but I'm sure if I opened up Apple Music, Drake's right there front cover still. He had his OVO radio where he ripped off the Tory Lane shit during quarantine, live on Apple Music. He gets like Apple Music exclusive content basically. He has a big contract with them and all that stuff. So that did cause a rift, is what people were saying. That's like the noticeable shift in the relationship dynamic. That leads us to, we can get on to the next video, which is, now this is AI, but they did make some valid points. It's only a minute. So we're gonna go through a minute of a purely AI video from Drip News, and there's also them talking about Drake passing MJ, but not his fame, and that's valid. I believe this is the video where they kind of say, Drake is the hip hop top dog. Then you have the multicultural top dog, which is Bad Bunny, and then Taylor Swift is like the top dog of pop / country, right? But she has enough pop in her to where it's leaning more like mass appeal pop. Drake is hip hop with some pop, right? A lot of pop. And then Bad Bunny is Bad Bunny, of course. But I did like the way that they laid this out, and I think it does offer a pretty fair perspective on this debate, which regardless though, I think just the fact that this conversation is being had, that's part of why Jay-Z is so mad as well, because it's a competitive thing. Jay-Z was considered the best rapper alive pretty much for my entire life. I'm 31 years old, okay? And so for the majority of that time, I'll say maybe for 25 years, the last 25 years, Jay-Z was considered the best rapper alive by many, and still is by many. People of my age, we had a era for sure where it was like, nah, Lil Wayne is the GOAT right now. And then that was kind of like Kobe versus LeBron, right? Where it's like, okay, you got Lil Wayne coming up, but you got this dude. Even though I really compare Jay-Z to Michael Jordan more so, but just for the sake of the comparison, where you have everybody wanting to see Kobe versus LeBron in the NBA Finals, but we never really got to see that happen outside of a couple, games here and there. Christmas Day game, random regular season game, but we never got to see that 7-game series. That's kind of what the Lil Wayne and Jay-Z dynamic is to me. But then, like I said earlier, the Drake versus Jay-Z dynamic is more of a what if. It's like, what if Kobe would have passed Michael Jordan? What would those barbershop conversations be like? That's kind of what we're getting now. But real quick, little 1-minute AI interlude.
So kudos to you for accomplishing something like that in any life.
Drake just broke Michael Jackson's record for the most #1 songs on the Billboard Hot 100, but he is still nowhere near the King of Pop's level of fame. Even Drake's biggest defender, DJ Academics, is stepping in to shut down the crazy comparisons. Drake just dropped 3 massive albums at once, claiming the top 3 spots on the Billboard 200 and grabbing another #1 hit. That officially pushed him past MJ for the most #1 hits ever. Naturally, people started saying Drake has finally surpassed Michael Jackson in every single way. But Academics made a really solid point about why that is just completely false. He explained that Michael Jackson is the ultimate gold standard for global popularity. Today, music is super divided into subgenres. You have Drake for hip-hop, Bad Bunny for Latin music, and Taylor Swift for pop and country. But back in the day, Michael Jackson was all 3 of those massive fan bases combined into one single person. If you had ears and listened to music, you were a Michael Jackson fan. Breaking chart records is a crazy achievement for Drake, but pure numbers in the streaming era will never match the absolute global chokehold Michael Jackson had on the entire world.
So there you have it. That's laid out pretty nice, right? And it's a fact. Like, Michael Jackson's impact, which I think a lot of y'all in the chat are saying, like, culturally, just impact-wise, people passing out just off of him walking out of the hotel. He's the definition of aura way before anyone thought about putting that tag on people, right? So Drake, very big star. A lot of, and to be a rapper and to be compared to Mike is kind of crazy. But is he better than Mike as far as impact? No. And that's why the whole numbers lie is a crazy statement. But I get what's being said. It's more so you can't just look at the box score and decide who was better. You have to watch that. You have to watch the on-court performance, the on-field performance, to really appreciate who's better, this or this guy, Jerry Rice or Randy Moss type of conversations. You got to weigh in everything, really. You got to weigh in the numbers plus the cultural impact. And if you do that, Drake is still behind Mike for sure. But here's the question that I have. If Drake is definitively behind Mike still, which is hard to beat these Mike niggas, ain't it? Michael Jackson, Michael Jordan, goated. But if he's behind Mike, who else is he behind, if anyone? That's what I have to ask. And is he behind anyone in hip hop? Let me know in the comments and in the live stream. If you like, who's your guys' favorite rapper of all time? Even if Drake's not your favorite, is it one of those where it's like, yeah, I grew up hating the Chicago Bulls, but I can admit that Mike Jordan's that guy. Or, the people that grew up hating the Lakers but could admit that Kobe's right up there. And the LeBron haters that became believers and whatnot throughout the course of his career. Which, on a side note, even though actually LeBron is tied into all this, so it's really not a side note. But in my opinion, LeBron sticking around for these extra few years that he's been sticking around is actually kind of hurting his legacy in the moment, at least. Only because it's like, all right, bro, retire already so we can just figure out where we're placing you. But he wants that one more ring. And, I don't think we've ever seen somebody as accomplished as LeBron James do the Carmelo Anthony ring chase thing. But that's kind of what's happening now. And people are even saying that Jay-Z is behind the whole shit, behind Kendrick going at Drake. I think Kendrick, I don't know about that. I think Kendrick was self-motivated, but all the other fallout. Future kind of being a Drake op even to this day. They said he charged $300,000 for the feature on the newest album on Iceman, the Atlanta song. Supposedly that cost Drake $300,000 to have Future on there. So he didn't really want to work with Drake. If he fucked with Drake, it'd have been a cool little 10 racks or something like that. The homie discount, even if it's the label's money. But Future looks up to Jay-Z big time, right? So Jay-Z is being alleged that he's conspiring against Drake on a crazy level where he orchestrated the 20 verse one. He had all these people go at him, including LeBron. So they're saying that Jay-Z got in LeBron's ear, and it kind of makes sense because before Drake and LeBron were like, the cool little basketball rapper duo where they're homies and whatnot, it was Jay-Z first. LeBron was fanning out that Jay-Z was sitting courtside watching his game in Cleveland, the first run in Cleveland, and vice versa. Jay-Z was fanning out to be there to watch LeBron. LeBron starts rocking Yankee hats, fucking up the lyrics to Jay-Z songs and all that. So that brings us into Jay-Z disses Drake, Tory Lanez, Nicki Minaj, Dame Dash, and Big Ack on stage. So that's what this. So I scrubbed right to the moment where Academics on his live stream yesterday, where he started talking the most greasy about Jay-Z and Rock Nation, because he was keeping his composure. But I knew when I was watching, I was like, there's gonna be moments where he slips up and starts crashing out, and he did this without even chugging the Hennessy. So this is legitimate anger that we're about to see from Academics, okay? And yeah, this is where I get the narrative of, Ack is basically speaking on behalf of Drake at this point, and it's no longer really a conspiracy with him getting wine and dined right before the album dropped and all that shit. And then we have Charlemagne being the mouthpiece for Jay-Z, but Charlemagne's such a politician that it still pissed off Ack when Charlemagne gave him the phone call or whatever, saying, Jay-Z's about to come for you, right? And then right after that, you get the private investigator photos that we went over, that they're photographing his chat moderators outside their house, throwing away garbage and things like that. And then this whole dynamic of Drake passed Mike, so it's natural jealousy, or maybe they've been beefing for longer than that. It's deeper than just passing Michael Jackson, I think. Yes, the competitive nature, there's that part, but is Jay-Z really gonna out-rap anybody of the top guys in rap? I don't think so. I don't think anyone's expecting Jay-Z to out-rap anybody nowadays. That's like if LeBron was to get a ring next year and the year after that, and so Michael Jordan puts all that NASCAR shit that he's doing on hold and comes out of retirement to go play on the OKC Thunder or go play shooting guard on the Spurs or some shit to try and stop LeBron from getting ring 7. Like that's unrealistic. Nobody would expect that. And even if Drake were to get into a rap battle with Jay-Z, and beat him, it's like, well, you're supposed to beat him. So it's kind of a lose-lose for Drake. If you lose to Jay-Z and he's like supposed to be washed and damn near 60, you know, he can get senior citizen discounts at Wendy's. That's a problem. You shouldn't be losing to Jay-Z. And then if you win, it's like, well, you're supposed to win. He's an old man who doesn't even care about rapping anymore. He's doing X, Y, and Z. So let's get into probably the most heated part of this whole exchange so far. But actually, before I do that, I'm going to catch up on the chat real quick. You can compare Chris Brown to Michael Jackson at the minimum. Not no damn Drake. I feel that, but Drake is a way bigger artist globally, I would say, than Chris Brown. Even though Chris Brown stylistically is the most similar to Michael Jackson for sure. Facts, Candace. Oh, okay, you're agreeing with the up. Spurs in 4. I'm gonna close this stream out with my NBA Finals prediction. Actually, I like that Spurs in 4 though. You agree, Grand Champ? Shout out to you. Hit them likes, facts. UME. Oh, my volume's slightly low still. Damn. All right. Let me turn it up a little bit then. How's it sounding now? Mic check 1 2 3. All your favorites are underground artists. I feel that. We talking poetry versus sports. Yeah, but you know that's the comparison. There's a lot of parallels with it. It's just an easy analogy to look at how artists are ranked and put a Michael Jordan, Kobe, LeBron type of tags when you're looking at the top people. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, all right. So let's get into. Oh, hold on, one more. Don't let them NY niggas hear you. That's blasphemy. Yeah, I mean, now look. At the end of the day, Jay-Z doesn't need a rap anymore, though. That's my thing on it. I'm not discrediting any of the previous work that he's done. He was my favorite rapper for a good period of time, or at least in my top 3 favorites. Even if I'm not listening to Jay-Z every day, at the time that T.I. before Prison, Lil Wayne in his prime, I was listening to those two more than Jay-Z in my regular rotation. But I would still say, if you were to ask me in 2006 or some shit, I would still say, nah, Jay-Z's the best. But I enjoy this over here and shit like that. But shit, I mean, I was also enjoying listening to Bumby and Boosie and all types of shit. But anyways, let's get into this clip where Ack is going to start crashing out just a little bit as the frustration is building up on him. And on a side note, it looks like his sweater is bacon-necked. I don't know if I've ever seen a hoodie bacon-necked. He must be sweating in the stew.
But like, I don't think he looks at him as an OG. When I hear OG, I think definitely we're talking about just Jay-Z status. So he's like, and we know how you OGs rocking already, my nigga. The jig is up. That's clearly at, you know.
That's big enough. We know how you OG stream, how you.
So the lines go. Nigga, he says, my next update, the jig is up. Nigga, I'm up 10. Wrong chart, champ. You got to look up again. Okay?
So this is the Roots Fest freestyle breakdown that Ack did. Now, y'all be getting, some of y'all, not all of y'all, right? The majority of people actually don't even comment. They just watch the content. But as far as who comments, occasionally when I go on my rant videos that, you know, might be the whole video of me talking, people are like, man, why are you talking the whole time? Ain't this just clips? Well, I'm obviously not just the clip page, right? But you see the runtime there, it says 249 out of, or 245 out of 324. So Academics turned a 3-minute freestyle, and we're not even through his coverage on the freestyle, into 2 hours and 16 minutes of commentary. So some of y'all got to chill or just go and watch the piece of content that's being reacted to, and then watch the supplemental commentary channels after. And maybe you won't feel like I'm so-called wasting your time by commentating. If you fire up Sports Center, the commentators are talking more than when the highlights are playing, right? The highlights playing is like a minute of the 30-minute to an hour long show. So we got to chill on that. Or don't, you're still driving up my engagement, but that's kind of a weird criticism. It's not really a valid criticism. This nigga actually just sitting in silence. I thought the video was still paused.
Then he says, niggas look up to Hove. I ain't never look up to them.
Got up 10. Wrong chart, champ. You gotta look up again. Niggas look up to Hove.
Which, by the way, what this told me was that, I know y'all gonna say this ain't true, but Jay's a little bit bothered by, like, Drake kind of passing these records, if you ask me. Drake has skated past so many of these different records, and he's just flexing with it. And I do believe that Jay himself is kind of looking at these records and probably being like, man, I think he feels salty. I always told you I felt he felt a little salty. Because he's directly addressing, I don't know when he wrote this, but he's directly addressing the charts. He's at wrong charts. He's basically saying, wrong chart, champ. You got to look up again.
So, yeah, okay. Wrong chart. So what chart does Jay-Z want us to look at? He's talking about, like, the Forbes list and all types of other charts, I guess, right? How he's been rich for longer than Drake. How he's got all these businesses and he's the NFL music man and things of that nature. The only thing that confuses me, I'm not exactly sure about what the nature of Roots Fest is supposed to be, or Roots Picnic, whatever the fuck. But I would assume that it's to, like, pay homage to the Roots. So he's up there looking like Questlove, but then he decides to do this, like, freestyle diss on all his ops and detractors. Doesn't that kind of take away from the vibes that this picnic celebration of the Roots is supposed to be? I could be wrong, but it's damn near like someone winning a Lifetime Achievement Award at an award show, and then the musical act that's supposed to, like, reenact their music or vibes is up there, dissing people, but with the vibe of, it's kind of clever, but it also seems like kind of like poor taste. And it also is, I think it is a preview to Jay-Z dropping another studio album soon that will probably have plenty of disses and whatnot to dissect. Because in this freestyle, at some point, he even alludes to, like, this is just the beginning or, like, warning shot or some shit like that. But I have to point out that it's kind of like, okay, so you're dressing up like one of the most noticeable people from the Roots, but then you're using it to diss all your, I don't know.
Like, he values this idea of being ranked ahead of Drake. So now Drake has beat him in the musical charts. He's now telling Drake, look up. I'm beating you in the money game chart. So he's kind of moving the goalpost, but he's saying, nah, that's the chart that matters. Then he says, niggas looked up to Hove. Hove never looked up to them. Now, I told you, I think he could always get this line off on Jay-Z, on Drake and Kanye. However, I do think, if Drake ever wants to respond, which, by the way, I think Drake should ignore this nigga. He should ignore this fuck nigga. This senile, Alzheimer's, fungus-infested ass motherfucker.
Nah, see, now he's taking it personal. This is why I say that he's the Drake mouthpiece. I wouldn't be surprised if we could be a fly on the wall in Academics' house if there was some late night phone calls before this stream or text messages or something where he's kind of venting with Drake and things like that, and they're both getting their jokes off about the Jay-Z freestyle, and now Ak is bringing some of that energy to his live stream. Now, of course, at this point, we know Ak has his own alliances, and you're not going to always get unbiased coverage when it comes to especially the alliance, which is the Drake alliance. But it is kind of just interesting. I don't know. I wasn't around for Tupac versus Biggie. I would assume that the radio hosts back then were picking sides, but it was more regional based. Versus now, it's just like truly picking sides off of who you rock with more. Charlemagne being the media mouthpiece for Jay-Z in a way, even though I don't think Jay-Z's really hitting up Charlemagne directly like that as often as Drake and academics probably communicate. But it is just crazy to have a clear-cut representative of each rapper, both with various podcasts and live streams and whatnot, going at each other. And plus, they've also had their own personal competition. I don't know about full-blown beef, but academics and Charlemagne have definitely been competing with each other ever since Ak left Everyday Struggle.
Should be ignored. Honestly. You know, I'm gonna be honest with you. My advice is that Drake should treat him like how he would have. You remember how Jay-Z treated like niggas like Jim Jones in The Game back in the day? That's how Drake should treat Jay-Z now. Boy, I just dropped the hottest album. I'm the only thing moving in hip hop right now, gang. Even your moment you had to make about me. This is your first pop out. Nobody remembers. Yes, by the way, he reunited back with Freeway and Beanie Siegel on stage. Nobody's talking about nothing else other than him dissing Drake.
Yeah. Hold on, I'm gonna acknowledge chat for a second because y'all cooking. I do kind of recall Hove addressing things with acapella freestyles. You're not wrong about that, Cali King. I don't remember. Was it Black Album? Or does he have most of his albums you can get a cappella as well? I definitely remember in the LimeWire days being able to listen to some Jay-Z albums a cappella, and I'm like, damn, this shit actually fire. Jay-Z's definitely a very strong pen game, a true poet with his pen. Don't get me wrong. It just does this freestyle, the delivery and all that. It did come off like an emotional move versus the calculated, Jay-Z that we usually get. Like he had he damn near talking about putting hits on niggas and shit in the freestyle. So it's a little it's like, all right, man. You kind of getting a little accurate there. Calm down, Dirk. And you don't want to see Murder for Hire Hove. But yeah, let me see. The Roots Picnic is an annual music and cultural fest in Philadelphia hosted by, well, yeah, I get that, but I'm saying like the vibe, like is he supposed to be paying homage to them, or you can just get up there and do whatever you want? Regardless, I guess Jay-Z doing anything on stage on a microphone is so rare that it's just whatever he wants to give people, they're cool with because it is like a scarce thing. Drake been popped since he got marked up by Soulja Boy on the Breakfast Club. He slurps up Drake way too often. It's embarrassing. Yeah, it gets a little exhausting. It gets a little exhausting for me trying to get through his streams. But this is one of those where it's like, all right, what is Ak's take on this freestyle with the current event of the whole private investigator on his team thing? Hove Ben said he was going to cut his hair when he dropped a new album. He'll have a Caesar by the time he does the 2 New York shows. Remember, I said it here first. Timestamp my ish. Well, there you guys have it. That's timestamped right now. Dubs from the back block with the observation / prediction. So yeah, Drake's so removed from the culture, it would actually make sense for an OG who shaped the culture to address him at Roots Fest. I could see that. It's kind of the same vibes as as kind of Kendrick's angle with Not Like Us and the whole colonizer bars and things like that. So you go to ironically titled The Roots of Hip Hop, and do the most hip hop thing that you can do, which is compete. Compete on a rap level. So I like the way you're looking at that. That's a good way to look at it for sure, actually. I actually like Ack minus the Drake stuff. No, yeah, for sure. Ack is he solidified his place in hip hop media, especially new age media, getting it out the mud. He started from zero, on YouTube, fired up, faceless YouTube videos at first, and evolved into what he is now. I can't discredit Ack's accolades. Yeah, we've covered his controversies here and there, but at the end of the day, the guy's resilient as can be, and he keeps going forward, right? And his content is good. It's a little bit of a marathon, but his moments are his moments. You know, when Ack decides to drive the lane and dunk, that shit's entertaining.
If I'm Drake, I treat Hove like the little nigga like that he is.
See, he's wilding right now.
I don't even give him a response. Get out of here, sucker. Get out of here.
I agree, but calling Hove a little nigga is crazy. Like that, like, oh man, it's not even shock jock shit. Like he's dead serious. This is legitimately how Academics feels. He's talking about Jay-Z, the Jay-Z, Sean Carter, as if Jay-Z is Meek Mill. Like the way he violated Meek Mill and Lil Baby, you can't have that same energy for Jay-Z. You just can't. I feel like Jay-Z is too talented to violate him to that level. But at the same time, I do agree that Drake shouldn't respond. But the reason that Ack's gonna give for why he shouldn't respond, mine is different. My reason for why he shouldn't respond is because Jay-Z, he's a conniving, plotting ass nigga. So if it's now being alleged that Jay-Z is the one that put all these beefs together over the last decade, all the way up to the Kendrick shit, where he done turned Future against you even, and that's supposed to be your dog. He done turned all of rap against you behind the scenes without dropping any music. He must have some shit on him. It's like when somebody got that thing and they, you know what I mean? They got the pocket rocket on them at a venue where no one else is supposed to really have it, and they moving with that confidence. Jay-Z's moving like he got some shit. And you know the files, he didn't like when Tony Bigsby, whatever, said that he was piping children. He went real hard against that. That was right when his daughter's Lion King debut was taking place. And now you have Drake. He got hit song talking about Island Boys type activities. You know? So Jay-Z is coming back with he must have something up his sleeve to be popping it so confidently. He must. And so, do you really want to walk into a trap if you're Drake? You're just now getting your momentum back. The people are accepting you. You got certified hits again. You're not getting blackballed. You're able to unarchive all your Instagram posts. You turn your comments back on. I don't know if it's a good move for Drake to get into another beef right now. It's kind of like you done went through, ironically, you got pushed through the ringer, through Jay-Z's ringer, and now where you should be kind of tired, you should be kind of exhausted when it comes to beef, you're getting baited into a boss fight. This is like end of the video game level tension. Do you have the energy bar for that, or should you recharge, eat some berries and shit like that first, and then get into the boss fight? You know what I'm saying? I'll revise. I'm not gonna say don't respond at all, but responding right now might be a bad look. Let the Jay-Z album come out first. Let him shoot his load, pause, and then see what you got to respond to. Versus walking into a trap and then another gotcha moment, like how they orchestrated with Like That.
You ain't gonna come. That boy popped out with a 22. His main man, the sniper, couldn't do it. The other nigga that came in with the Uzi couldn't do it. The other nigga with the Glock 19 couldn't do it. The other nigga with the Glock with a switchy on it couldn't do it. Now he coming out with a little 22 like he hunting birds or something like that. Fuck out of here. You hunting deer? Nah. Treat Jay-Z like the bum he is. Give him no response. Pay him dust. Pay him dust. That's how you listen. Drake fans, trust me.
Nah, bro. Like the bum he is. You can't call Jay-Z a bum. At the end of the day, he was the blueprint. The blueprint can't be a bum. That work is already solidified. Drake has solidified work as well. And, you know, a Drake-Jay-Z versus isn't necessarily fair because Jay-Z's hits are hits for a different reason. Jay-Z is like a more polished, better rapping version of Nipsey Hussle, where you put on Jay-Z's music, when you spend your last dollar, your account can say negative 15 cents in it, but it's going to make you figure out, you know what, damn it, let me get a side hustle and a side hustle for the side hustle. It's pure motivation. You know, that you can't listen to Jay-Z and not want to get money. But it's not about just getting money on a simple level. Jay-Z's music makes you want to boss all the way up. Jay-Z is the reason why so many niggas had as soon as you graduate from high school, we can all relate. Got a homie or 10 that got CEO of something in their Facebook bio, Instagram, Twitter, whatever. CEO this, CEO that. Jay-Z is the reason why niggas wanted to be CEOs growing up. So you can't say he's a bum. Drake, his impact is different than that of a Jay-Z. He could do Jay-Z. This is the thing though. Drake could do Jay-Z style. Jay-Z can't do Drake style. So you have an argument there if you're going to compare the two and try to rank Drake above Jay-Z. But at the same time, the impact culturally, Jay-Z's not as impactful as Michael Jackson. But I don't think he ever was trying to be Michael Jackson either. He was always more a rapper's rapper. He's a true MC. You know what I'm saying? It's like a pure shooter. You put that nigga in the booth with a notepad, he's gonna figure it out every time. Drake, he's more of a versatile player. He can do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And he does it all at a high level. But to say this is a bum ass nigga that doesn't deserve a response, that's cap. This is the boss call. This is you have to fight back if he keeps throwing shots. The freestyle you don't have to respond to. Like I said, let it play out. Let it play out, but to call him a bum is crazy. Get off your knees. Get off your knees for a second. Let's be logical. You know, and on the side note, I'm not going to see it because it's on Netflix, but I want to see the Rory and Mal show because Mal, you know, Joe Budden's ex-co-host, he's probably conflicted right now. His whole thing is he loves Drake and he loves Jay-Z. So who's he going to glaze? Or are you going to glaze both and say, I just want peace, y'all. I just want peace.
Trust me, I'm going to Bill Belichick this one. You give
Yada,
this
what up,
nigga,
what up?
First of all, we wouldn't even respect it or even think it's valued a response unless you even had a beat to it. Put out a song, but maybe then we'll think about it. But this right here, this is a mad ramblings from a nigga that's losing his marbles. A nigga that's probably suffering from dementia.
No, you're not wrong about that at all, Candace. The point 22, that's probably the most popular joint. Is versatile. You know, you get them reliable. It fits everywhere. That's a lot of people's old tried and true. You know, good reliable.
Alzheimer's and all that type of shit, maybe even arthritis, nigga. Listen, while you figure out what type of hairstyle you want to go with, you want to go back to some wicks, you want a dread wig, whatever you want to do, you ain't going to engage with Drake. Nigga, he passed you already, boy. Why you ain't trying to get up with him last summer? Why you ain't trying to get up with him the summer before? What you think he about to come over here and just like indulge you? Nigga, you at the Roots picnic, nigga. You couldn't even wait till you got to your Yankee Stadium show. Pay this nigga dust. This was cool, but this nigga, this ain't what we think it is. This shit was cool. This was light. This shit was light. And we should probably like make sure we put it in the air. Hey, for the people who've been acting like, I told you, that boy Kung Fu Kenny couldn't finish the job. He did a good job starting it though. Listen, y'all seen that one playoff game where niggas was up like 30?
All right, Act. Let me pause it right there. Because, okay. You're saying it's light. It is. I think Jay-Z in the freestyle, like I said already, he acknowledges that it's light. That this ain't shit. It's a warning shot. It's him foreshadowing of what is to come. You say Kenny, hold on, let me run it back. Because I'm losing my train of thought. I want to make sure I'm accurate on this part.
Arthritis, nigga. Listen, while you figure out what type of hairstyle you want to go with, you want to go back to some wicks, you want a dread wig, whatever you want to do, you ain't going to engage with Drake. Nigga, he passed you already, boy. Why you ain't trying to get up with him?
That's what it is. This is all personal. So going back to the first talking point of this live stream, Academics was visibly upset, visibly shook when reporting to the world that a mysterious source, he's trying to keep it vague, but everybody knows what he's alluding to. Rock Nation allegedly stalking him and his employees has him thinking, well, damn, why y'all mad at me for? But it's because obviously the whole Megan Thee Stallion shit is one element, Tory Lanez one element, but then now Jay-Z versus Drake. Jay-Z went up on that stage and declared war against Drake. So anybody that's in Drake's side, you got an OVO chain now, Act. You got the OVO chain. He's wearing like Venice Beach, California Bear merch in this stream and sweating through that motherfucker to where he bacon necked the hoodie. But he has an OVO chain now. So that's a target. You didn't put a target on yourself as well by aligning so biasly with Drake. You know, that's who you're a fan of, that's who you're a fan of. You know, but it comes with the cost. And it's funny though, the allegations get deeper. The allegation gets much deeper. I'm not sure exactly of when it happens in this live stream, when he starts talking about the extent of what's like. So basically Academics, Drake, and I forget who else, but they're being accused of accepting money from the Republican Party behind the scenes, right? And so Jay-Z and Charlemagne have both obviously been aligned with the Democratic Party for quite some time. Even if not like a public endorsement and things like that. Excuse me. Even if not with like a public endorsement, Charlemagne for sure has been a liberal echo chamber on his platforms for damn near, again, about 10 years. He was big Candace Owens and this and that. He endorsed Kamala. Charlemagne made people hate the name Kamala. Just the way he says it, and says it so many times per episode of The Brilliant Idiots at the time, that it's like, gosh dang. He's saying it more than people say and stuff like that. It's like a loading word. So political parties being tied to Drake supposedly into ACK, because ACK is going to mirror whatever Drake is putting out there. And then you have the Democrats funding certain entertainers and media personalities as well. Now, media, it goes back ages being funded or accepting funding more so from politicians. Come on and do this interview. You know, Flagrant, when they first started getting politicians coming onto their shit, was, oh, this dude, he's running for mayor in New York. He's going to come and sit on Flagrant, and they're going to act like normal people instead of trying to get off a joke every 5 seconds and, like, let him get his talking points off, show a little bit of personality and joke around a little bit, but everything's pre-screened. You know, everything's politics. On a smaller level, remember everybody was like, "Oh, Smack told on the Pimps on Fig" when he sat down with the mayor on the radio show. The mayor of LA, they have a promotional budget. Obviously, you saw these smear commercials every election season. Part of that budget is now allocated to going on different platforms, right? So you have Smack, T-Rail, and Heather and AD sit down on the actual radio. Whoever still drives around listening to that in LA heard in real time, and then we all seen on the YouTube video of Smack saying, "What you gonna do about cleaning up the underage Blade Runners that are running around in the city?" And I said then, it seems like it's a question that somebody had to ask because that's what the mayor's PR team wanted to be asked, and they tasked Smack of all people with that question. That's just my observation. I don't know if that's actually how it went down, but with just a minimal knowledge of how political campaigns work, I would assume that there's certain talking points that their PR team wants to hit because you're campaigning. Every appearance, you're campaigning. Everything is intentional. So, spinning back to Drake versus Jay-Z, yeah, he's aligned with the NFL, but NFL tries to stay mutual, even though for a little bit they did seem more of like a Republican-based thing. But they're nowhere near like clear-cut Republican as like the UFC has taken over that spot for the marketing budget for the Republican Party for the most part. So Jay-Z, I guess he wants to appear neutral, but I feel like he would appear more liberal, Democratic Party aligned. Obviously, I wonder how much money he got from the Obama campaign. Now that I think about it, So Jay-Z's ties to the Democratic Party go way back, all the way back to the Obama era, if not before. Even Lil Wayne hopping on and saying George Bush doesn't care about black people is somewhat, that was just raw emotion, and he felt for his city being devastated and not getting the aid that many felt, New Orleans deserved at the time. But even so, that just shows rap and politics do occasionally, mingle. They intertwine. Those things matter. Remember, everybody was getting on Kamala for having Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion as her representatives for her campaign. They're like, oh, you're going to have Megan and Cardi twerking and stripping on stage and then come out and do a speech? Like, what the hell? So it all does make sense. Now, tying Act to the Republican Party is interesting, though, because he doesn't really get into politics like that on his platform. He gets into law and things like that, but I don't really see Act picking sides. So that's the only thing that doesn't really add up when it comes to that element of this beef. But that's another element, is that they're saying that basically Drake is somehow Republican Party representation, and Act naturally falls in line with that because of the Drake alliance. And then Charlemagne, we already know he's been bought year and year. They have Charlemagne on a yearly retainer for Democratic agenda pushing. So not to get all political on you guys, but there is a political aspect to this beef at the end of the day.
Last summer, why you ain't trying to get up with him the summer before? What you think you about to come over here and just like indulge you? Nigga, you at the Roots picnic, nigga. You couldn't even wait till you got to your Yankee Stadium show.
Oh, yeah, my fault. It was definitely Ye who said they don't care about black people. I'm tripping. But, no, where Wayne chimed in was on Georgia Bush. Remember the song Georgia Bush? Where it remixes the Georgia song by Ray Charles? and it's like a diss track to George Bush. And that dropped shortly after the Kanye George Bush doesn't care about black people. So that's why I kind of mixed them up.
Pay this nigga dust. This was cool, but this nigga, this ain't what we think it is.
Nah, facts. Representative is beating my ass because I keep on wanting to say representation, but then I'm thinking faster than my words are coming out. So then I just pause in the middle of the word. But facts, that shit's whooping my ass.
This shit was cool. This was light. This shit was light. And we should probably like make sure we put it in the air. Hey, for the people who've been acting like, I told you, that boy Kung Fu Kenny couldn't finish the job. He did a good job starting it, though. Listen, y'all seen that one playoff game where niggas was up like 30, and in the last like 11 minutes, niggas is lost? I think it was like the Raptors or something. Was it Raptors? No, it was the Cavs. Bum-ass niggas. That's Kendrick. Now, Kendrick was up for a bit. But nobody think about Kendrick no more. The boy still prevails. And for the people who thinking that, oh, Jay's a different beast, remember Jay got thoroughly spanked by Nas.
I don't mind the fact check one bit, but I pulled this up real quick. Lil Wayne, Georgia Bush. Lyrics start off with, this song right here is dedicated to the President of the United States of America. Y'all might know him as George Bush, but where I'm from, Lost City of New Orleans, we call him this. And then it goes into the whole shit. So it's both. You're absolutely right about the quote. I misquoted, it was Kanye, but Wayne did hop on that as well, on that train, because obviously, you know, it's his city. Kanye was speaking from that activist mentality that he was raised with, and Lil Wayne, that song is fire as hell. You know, if you haven't listened to it in a minute, go on and run that back.
It's like Jay's not the winner you want to describe. You know how y'all dick ride Kendrick? Jay's not a winner neither. Okay? Jay's not a winner neither. Jay's not a winner neither, okay?
So right here, this is where Ak is tripping some more. He's saying that just because Jay-Z lost his beef to Nas, in, you know, some people's eyes, he lost the beef to Nas, Ether was Ether. It's still a saying to this day, oh, you got ethered, I'm going to ether you, blah, blah, blah. A thorough ass whooping through words is an ether, right? So Jay-Z lost. But a lot of people, it's very similar to the modern beef, like I'm saying, with Drake and Kendrick. Drake, he had a very, very strong little run of songs in that beef that are sonically more enjoyable than most of Kendrick's songs. And he got bars in that shit, and he's alleging domestic violence and the baby's not yours. And, you know, it's checking off a lot of shit. It's just Kendrick, he did his shit. He kind of ethered the nigga with Not Like Us. But he did like a multi-track ether in a way too. So Kendrick won the beef because he had the more like, oh shit moment. Ak's trying to say that Kendrick didn't win because now 2 years later, Drake has these responses. I wouldn't go as far as, I think that version of the beef is already done. Who's going to win the war? That's a career-long war at this point. So we'll have to wait and see. But as far as the battle, Kendrick won the battle. Jay-Z lost the battle because Jay-Z is the older generation's Drake, and Nas won the battle because he's the older generation's Kendrick. The similarities are just so uncanny. So he's taking his glazing to a whole new level. Really, like Ak is doing an impressive level of glazing to be able to spin it that Jay-Z lost. Like, okay, well then, so did Drake, my boy. Like this you should have left this topic out of it.
Jay is Mr. Consolation Prize. Let's just put this in perspective. So there ain't nobody scared of Jay-Z. This was cute and amusing, nice moment, but trust me, the boy not gonna fall for the same banana in the tailpipe thing twice. Jay, if you want the current king attention, boy, you got to come better than that. Boy, you got to come better than that one. You gonna have to come a lot better than that one. You gonna have to come a lot better than that one. And for all the dick riders who used to say the same thing about Drake, even though Drake was actually dropping real tracks, remember y'all said that, oh, why Drake dissing 20 people instead of the one nigga he should focus on? Yeah. Well, we gonna treat Jay-Z the same. Jay, we don't respect it till you drop the whole verse at Drake.
I don't know who was saying that.
Go. I don't know if you forgot. This maybe this.
All right, I think we got through the most of his violation. We are gonna close out on this NBA Finals topic real quick, but before we do, at the end of the day, Ak was violating Hove purely for the love of the game. I don't know the last time I seen Ak crash out without a bottle of something in his hand. That was a seemingly sober version of academics, calling Jay-Z a has-been, a geriatric old man, and all types of other things. So, you know, it was a very good Ak rant. I was entertained. I was cleaning the house on a good Sunday listening to that, and definitely wanted to get that bit of that live stream. I didn't listen to the full 6 hours yet, but yeah, I think I thoroughly covered that. Excuse me, got the hiccups. I think I covered that element enough, right? Where there's a whole political element somehow being tied into this beef. And that's crazy if true. If the Republicans and Democrats are pitting rappers against each other, I don't know about all that. Do they spend money with media platforms? Absolutely. That's a thing. But as far as fueling this beef, I don't know. I think there's a lot of elements that have been brewing up for a Drake versus Jay-Z beef. And really, win, lose, or draw versus Kendrick, either way, Drake survived the beef enough to go, you know, number one again after what was said in Not Like Us. So he may have lost that, but he didn't lose his career or anything crazy. And now you're going against what's seen as the GOAT of your generation. You have the chance to go one-on-one to officially dethrone Jay-Z. Culturally. Not charts-wise. Yeah, we know he already passed Jay-Z on the charts a few years ago. But now culturally, if you put belt to ass on Jay-Z and, you know, with the right timing and all that, of course, now you're really onto something. No, y'all, I did not hit the 30 for 30. I think I ended up at like 25, 26, something like that. I technically owe some more videos, but you know, it was the first one, the first attempt at something like that. And I think with the attempt at 30 for 30, I think it built a lot of like character, muscle memory, a lot of like willpower, drive to, you know, now start doing live streams like this. I'm planning to do these on the regular at least once a week. And yeah, I'm really happy with the result of the 30 for 30, even if I fell short of the goal. And you know, I'm not gonna give myself a participation trophy either, because you know, you say you're gonna do 30 and 30, you're supposed to do 30 and 30. So I apologize for not hitting that target to y'all. But at the same time, when your water heater floods a portion of your house on, you know, day 12 or something, it did kind of fuck up the momentum. So I don't want to be the excuse person, but that is one of those things where, like, you know, your water heater fails kind of like once in a lifetime, maybe twice. So it's like, oh shit, this random ass house repair, you know, kind of derailed the marathon a little bit. But hey, man, here we are. We still riding. Exactly, practice makes perfect, and I appreciate your support. Let's see. Let's catch up with some other Drake stands. Will say nobody listens to Kendrick, but bring him up. That's a fact. And people are listening to Kendrick. People are listening to Kendrick. I don't know what happened with the disappearing songs and shit. the disappearing YouTube numbers, but all these people have not bot farms necessarily, but phone walls playing everybody's songs. Justin Bieber got it. All the pop stars got it. Drake and all of them. The labels have been doing this for all these huge acts because it's a thing for the audience. If the audience sees that a song has 30 million, plays on a YouTube music video, you're more likely to click on it because, like, well, what am I missing out on by not clicking on this 30 million viewed song? So even if that shit's really at like 15, 20 million, that's still probably enough to make you click. But you got different things they're competing with and all types of stuff too, where this label is going against this label, so they want their best artist to look better than their best artist. And then on the smaller level, you have people that are more like borderline underground that might pop off and get 500K on a music video, and they actually just signed a deal with Atlantic or some shit, whatever. I think everybody was botting shit musically for a cool minute. Or not, excuse me, not botting, but at least doing the view farm thing, where it's literally rooms full of cell phones. The visuals, speaking of visuals, that was fire how Drake blew up the phone shit to kind of like visually diss Kendrick. That was hard. There's a lot of dope elements that I appreciate from the Iceman rollout and on the songs themselves as well. Every song having a music video that was live streamed as the album premiered, fire. I'm not even sure if that's been executed to the level that ended up getting, executed ever. So that's hard, unless it was like Plaque Boy Max or something, but that doesn't count. He's making like Kids Bop fake Uzi Vert music. But yeah, we're going to close it out with a sports topic. We're going to close it out. Yeah, exactly. It's a marketing scheme. And yeah, that's true, actually. We all know that if you get a bunch of views on something on YouTube, organic, mix, whatever, the algorithm picks it up more. It pushes you into another algorithm after a certain point. So then you do end up getting more organic views from the botted views. So it's crazy. It's really crazy, the whole bot thing. My thing is, if you're like putting it on your content or your music yourself, I don't see how you could feel like accomplished by doing that. But if it's happening because of your label or something, then that's kind of out of your control. The label's trying to get the most out of their investment, and I guess that's just the name of the game. But for the people that are going and seeking out these things themselves, that's lame as hell. Like, if I boost up the views on this live or something, I would feel like you're not going to feel any more accomplished. Or like the people that fake their way to 100,000 subscribers and then buy like a Alibaba YouTube plaque or don't have a plaque at all. It's like, do you really feel accomplished by that? The whole point of having goals is to achieve them organically, going through that process of what it takes to actually achieve them, at least to me. But speaking of achieving goals, we have the New York Knicks versus the San Antonio Spurs. I want to watch Carmelo Anthony, Vince Carter, and Tracy McGrady. I guess they did a preview of the finals matchup. When did they do this? They did it a day ago. All right, so I want to see what they have to say about it. But before I see what they have to say about it, I want to say it's going to be Spurs in like 4 or 5. I can see the Knicks maybe getting a game. Maybe I'm hating. Maybe I'm asleep. Maybe I'm just used to the Knicks disappointing as often as possible. But I don't think the Knicks have anything for Victor Wembanyama. That's the reason why, that's the X factor. If Vic gets hurt or something, then it obviously changes the series. Then it becomes like Toronto beating Golden State in 2017, where it's like, okay, well, what if the Warriors would have stayed healthy? But if both teams are healthy, I don't see the Knicks having an answer for Vic. And it's funny that that's the case, because Karl Anthony Towns is supposed to be the answer for Victor Wembanyama. He's shorter than him, but technically from a trading standpoint, Cat should be able to trade off any type of buckets that Vic gets. He can shoot the three also. He can score in the post. He can rebound. He's a pretty good help defender himself. But is he Vic's level at all those things? Not consistently. Now, if Cat is there's lots of switching and shit in playoff basketball. But if Cat is guarded by Vic the majority of the time, most of them threes he's getting off are now going to be contested when he's not used to them being contested. For the most part, he's used to being the tallest three-point shooter on the floor, and he's still not out there shooting 10 threes a game or anything like that. Vic will go out there and chuck 5 to 8 threes if needed, and he is shooting at an efficient rate. We've seen him pull from Curry range against OKC in was it in overtime to like win the game in one of those games. So yeah, I don't think the Knicks, like, it's unfortunate for the Knicks fans. You finally get back to the finals, but now you have to play against a generational talent that also the Spurs have drafted perfectly around him. The year after drafting him, they drafted rookie of last year, Stephon Castle, who's like, he's a versatile wing, point forward-esque player, which is a great fit with a Wembanyama. The Kings gifting De'Aaron Fox to the Spurs doesn't help matters, because now Jalen Brunson can't hide on defense. And then Harper is going to be going at the rim all game long, rebounding and doing all the little things. He's like a bigger, more teammate friendly version of Russell Westbrook in a way. So the Spurs big three is kind of like grit and grind type of big three. And then you have the Villanova Knicks, where it's like, okay, yeah, you guys dominated at Villanova, got your championship and whatnot. But at the same time, Victor Wembanyama, you didn't have to go through him or anything. You know, ain't nobody really seen anything like Vic in basketball. To have that height and that skill level and that athleticism, the fluidity in his footwork, and just being able to shoot from all over the court, taking it serious enough to put on muscle over the offseason after almost dying from blood clots, mind you, and going and becoming a Shalon Monk and all this shit. Like, we ain't never seen no shit like this. He's moving like Kareem Wilt and Steph Curry and LeBron. Like, he's like, and he got Michael Jordan's competitive edge. He's got it all. The only way to beat the Spurs is if Victor Wembanyama finds a way to beat himself. And then you got Popovich still kind of coaching the team, recovering from a stroke and from the passing of his wife that all kind of happened back to back. But he's still coaching from the press box. Plus, the Spurs coach is a good old school style coach that be crashing out on the players, but in the right way. So that's my prediction. Is Spurs in 4 or 5. I know I should probably say one or the other. I don't know. Fuck it. We'll go Spurs in 4. It starts on Wednesday. If they lose the game 1, I still got that 5 to protect me. But yeah, I'm putting my money on the Spurs. I actually have had money on the Spurs since I've seen them beat OKC the first time in the regular season. I said, let me hop on this app and throw a futures down on the Spurs, getting out the West and all that. That cashed. And I also had one on them winning the finals. Not betting advice, not a gambling show. But that is my personal opinion. But let's see what the some legends have to say before we get up out of here. Oh shit, that's act. Giggling and shit about to crash out some more. Hold on.
For Stephon Castle will be Cat and the Knicks. Guys, take a look at the T-shirt he wore into his first game as a Knick.
Woo! Way to call it, Cat.
And now he's playing in the 2026 reboot of the 1999 final. That's pretty. That's actually.
It's gonna be him and
gotta
Wemby
go
on
see
that.
Big
That's what you gonna
Wemby.
shirt. You're gonna see that on that shirt.
Yeah, where you gonna be?
I'm locked in.
Yeah.
I'm locked in. I'm a
Every
fan.
game
I'm a
at
fan
MSG?
now.
Every
I
game?
ain't got to sit up here and do the studio, which I love. But I'm gonna be a fan of the basketball game. This is
No,
Spurs.
where are you going to be? In the building?
I'm in the building.
Yeah.
Hello.
It's me. Okay, let's chat about it, though. We've seen the Spurs now. We've been watching them closely. The matchup, what do you make of it, the Knicks and the Spurs in the finals?
All right, all jokes aside,
Okay.
when you talk about what the Knicks like to do, they want to get downhill, they want to be physical, they want to play in the paint. Jalen Brunson want to get in the paint. He want to.
That's problem number one right there. That's problem number one right there. The only valid 3-point shooter on the Knicks starting five is Mikal Bridges, and he's good for about 16 to 21 points a game. So that's about the same play style, damn near the same play style and output as Devin Vassell. So they cancel each other out at best. And then aside from that, you can't trust OG Anunoby shooting night to night. Some nights his three-pointers falling, sometimes it's not. But he's kind of like a budget version of Kawhi Leonard, but they're not running no offense through him unless Brunson gets hurt or something. And then you got Josh Hart. Another one, he's not a reliable three-point shooter. He's a lot better than when he was, younger, and he was missing everything on the Lakers. But you're still not looking at him like, oh, he's Klay Thompson-esque and can beat us with his three-point shooting. So then the main scorer and the best, possibly the best New York Knick since the 80s, right? Jalen Brunson. Legacy player. His dad was on the last team to appear in the finals. He's on, all that stuff. Perfect storybook ending if it happens. But your game is a physical play style that plays right into the Spurs' hands. The Spurs defensively have enough defenders to throw at Brunson to where his get in the paint, get to the elbow play style doesn't really matter that much. It doesn't. They can play the Knicks just like how they figured out how to beat OKC. The Knicks are like a less talented version of OKC, where you just let Shea get his 35, 40. What are you going to do? Score 50, 60, 70? No. Shea ain't about to score 60-something points on you in no playoff setting. He ain't Mike. You know what I'm saying? He hasn't even scraped 60 or high 50s in the playoffs, I don't think. He always caps out around 35, 40 at the most. 40 is like, oh, shit. And that's a lot of free throw line, of course, too. But you just let Jalen Brunson do the same thing. Limit his assist. Limit his hockey assist as well. And just make him chuck all the shots. He wants to do that anyways. But he's not going to outshoot the well-oiled offensive machine that is the Spurs. The Spurs run a disciplined offense on top of being an elite, like all-time great level defensive team. So Jalen Brunson might average 38 points a game in the finals. It's not going to matter because it's a team sport and you need at least one other guy in that starting five to constantly be at mid-20s, like 24 to 28 even a game. You need that Kyrie to LeBron output with the Cavs. That was the only reason why the Cavs were able to push the Warriors like that during that era, is because Kyrie was answering whatever Bron was putting out, Kyrie was putting out as well. When you got two guys dropping 30, now it's a problem. And then you got J.R. Smith over there with 15, 20. It's that shot chart in game one is going to tell it all how the series will go. I'm going to be watching the shot chart closely and who's the second highest scorer on the Knicks and third highest scorer on the Knicks. Because in the third one, it could be off the bench or it can be in the starting five. Don't matter. But it's a tall task. If I'm a New York fan, I wouldn't be feeling too good about this matchup. Enjoy watching your team in the finals, but I don't see an outcome other than injuries where the Knicks can pull this one off.
to score. He's a closer. Cat would play outside. Last couple series, Cat been playing at the top of the key, so he's been a facilitator. Now, Cat got to come with a whole nother game plan. Jalen Brunson got to come with a whole nother game plan because everybody else, you could get to the
That's a
rack.
fact.
Now you got a 7-4 guy down there who's holding the fort down. And as we saw in this Game 7, guys were scared to go in that paint against Wemby. So can the Knicks control that part of the game? Can they still get downhill? Can they still get in the paint? Can they utilize their physicality, their wings? Can they overpower the young guards that San Antonio Spurs have? And we're going to see. I think Game 1 would be a dogfight in San Antonio. Knicks got fresh legs. San Antonio is battle-tested. So we're going to see what happens that Game 1. But can the Knicks dominate in that paint, getting downhill and living in that paint?
Right.
And it's the young athleticism, I think, of the Spurs. You have
All right, I'm not gonna lie. That's all I needed right there. I think I already got off most of my take too. But yeah, if you got a franchise legend saying the Knicks' whole game plan, their whole play style that got them here, is going to have to change in order to have a chance at winning the series, it's not a good look. And I completely agree with that. It would have to change, and they probably will change, because if not, Vic is going to have like 8 blocks a game, and those blocks become points. Those are turnovers. So, man, it's almost unfortunate. I don't think Cleveland would have matched up too much better either. They're too old and things like that. Detroit, I don't know how they would have matched up. That would have been interesting, I guess. It really is true. Thank you for the gift, Yada. It really is true that the what's it called? The championship game, or the championship series, excuse me, was the Western Conference Finals. The actual finals is probably going to be short. 4 or 5 games. 5 games would actually be surprising. But, you know, every once in a while, game 4 rolls around and a team on their last leg back against the wall, they play out of their mind for one game. They might be able to sneak one with a game-winning shot or something. But outside of some type of miracle game like that, that would probably lead to New Yorkers rioting in the streets again prematurely, I don't see it. I don't see it. Definitely Spurs in 4. Fuck it. And with that said, you know, thank you for watching this inaugural live stream of this nature, one that's not a boxing one. Midday. I meant, again, now, I did mean to start this around 6 a.m. Okay, so I want these Monday streams to be earlier in the day, not this time. But you know, if this ends up being the better performing time long term, then cool. We'll start around 11 a.m. or something. But if not, this is supposed to be a morning show, like a true morning show, to where it starts in the morning and it ends and it's still morning time. All right? But, you know, let me know what you guys think. What time works best for everybody. We'll figure that out as we go. And with that said, thanks for watching. Peace.
Empty streets, quiet roads, headlights fade, town still sleeps. My tired eyes keep on and I'm not afraid. Flashlight on my rings, paper cup half cold, half gone. I was made of fatigue. Now the air feels sharp and clean. Crossing that sleeping bridge, watching windows wake one by one. Something soft in my chest says the hardest part is done. And the sky starts turning that pale gold line. I can feel it moving through the heart of my mind. All night behind me like a weight let go. Still I'm here at the edge of morning. Night, finally, let's go. Morning takes over. Night, finally, let's go. I can start over. First sun on my hands, first sun on my face. The night, finally, let's go. And I'm not afraid. Let the dark slip down, let it fade behind. I was lost in the hours, now I'm back in time. One small breath of dawn on this tired road. I can't leave the night here, I can let it go. Night, finally, let's go. Morning takes over. Night, finally, let's go. I can start over. First sun on my hands, first sun on my face. The night, finally, let's go. And I'm not afraid.
Phone face down and it shakes. Whole week stains on my sleeve. Last night thought left red marks. Now the feet won't let me breathe. Names spinning in the comments like coins across the floor. Somebody wants somebody folded. Somebody slammed the door. I saw the headline flash, then I let it pass. Truth moves slow through glass, but it still gets Monday Mayhem. Wake up, it's Monday Mayhem. Monday Mayhem. Wake up, it's Monday Mayhem. Rumors come and go, I let them fade. Screens lit in my dark room with 100 borrowed takes. One post turns to a wildfire, one grin turns into fade. You can crown me, cut me, I keep my name in line. Win or lose, I walk through like I got more to find. I heard the noise get loud and it lost the shape, but they built from smoke. I can't watch it break. Monday Monday Mayhem. Wake up, it's Monday Mayhem. Monday Mayhem. Wake up, it's Monday Mayhem. Rumors come and go, oh, I let them fade. Let them trade the stories, let them spin that wheel. I've been through the pressure, I know what is real. Morning is the glass and the whole room changes. Still I keep my calm through the Monday mayhem. Monday mayhem. Wake up, it's Monday mayhem. Monday mayhem. Wake up, it's Monday mayhem. Rumors come and go, oh, I let them fade.
I was lost in the gray, hands full of broken time. Every thought in a cage, every breath in a line. I kept falling through static, kept my face to the ground. Then a small thread of gold started pulling me out. Slowly, the haze starts to bend. Hold me closer, I can't feel the end of the panic, of the noise in my skin. Something open is calling me in. Break through dawn, I can feel it now. Break through dawn, I'm coming up somehow. Hands